Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. For today, we are going to continue with marketing chapter. Chapter 6 in the syllabus, chapter 11 and 12 in the textbook. Last week, we have discussed about what is marketing, right? What does it mean by marketing? So you should remember that marketing is not only about advertising and sales, about selling the products. It is actually a set of processes for creating the products, services, ideas, communicating those products, services, ideas, and delivering value to customers for managing customer relationships. So last week also we have talked about delivering value, which is on value and benefits. So what are the values? Values will compare a product's benefits with its cost. Benefits include the product's functions and emotional satisfaction associated with owning, experiencing, or possessing those products. But cost, the expenditure of buyer's time and even the emotional cost of making a purchase decision factor into determining the value of the product. So a satisfied customer perceives the benefit derived from the purchase to be greater than its cost. So the benefits, if the benefits are more than the cost of the product as perceived by the customer, so they will have the intention to buy the product. Okay, so for this week we're gonna talk about value and utility. Right, so what is value and utility? So to understand how marketing creates value for customers, we need to know the kind of benefits that buyers get from a firm's goods or services. Right, so utility means ability of a product to satisfy a human want or need. Okay, so products usually provide utility, which is the product's ability to satisfy the customer's wants or need. Alright, so in marketing there are 4 kinds of utility that we'll look at afterwards. We have form utility, time utility, place utility, and possession utility, or we call it as the ownership utility. Let's take a look at the first kind of utility, which is form utility. What does it mean by form utility? It is the what question, what the customer wants and needs. So this form utility is usually related to designing the products with features that the customers wants or with the features that they need. Alright, so usually form utilities are referring to how well a product, a service, or an idea meets the customer needs and wants. Let me give you an example of, let's say, a car manufacturing company. Right? So in this company, they could sell all parts of their car separately. But then, if the company is just selling the parts of the car, they may be only few customers who will buy those parts. Maybe from the industrial sector. But then, if they assemble the parts, they manufacture the cars, adds the significant value for the cars. So it adds the needs of the customer, the wants of the customer, and thereby they increases the form utility and leads to the customer wanting the product, purchasing the product. Okay, so in other words, form utility is obtaining by transforming customer needs into products or services. Okay, so to do this, companies analyze their target markets, they survey their potential customers to find out what they need. Alright, okay, so they need to align the product features with the actual customer needs. Let me give you another example of form utility. Okay, a manufacturing company that manufacture bed frame. Okay, so different customer would require different needs and wants. Okay, some of the customer, they just need bed frame with storage. Yeah, they need the storage because they have limited space in their room, for example. Okay, some customers, they need a bed frame without a headboard. Okay, so they don't really like the headboard, for example. Okay, some, okay, they want to buy bed frame with under bed or the pull out bed so that they can accommodate two person in a room. For example, if let's say they have guests, okay, some they need double decker just because of the space or because of the excitement of double decker. Okay, so some needs, let's say, a bed frame with side tables, built-in side tables. Okay, so they can store anything just beside the bed. Okay, some needs the bed frame with study table. So this form utility is very important for the company to decide what kind of product that they need to produce next, or they need to produce currently, based on the needs and wants of the customer. Next, let us talk about time utility. It is related to when question. Okay, providing products when customers will want them. All right, so it is usually depending on the everyday wants and needs. Okay, depending on the weather, depending on holiday season. So time utility usually exists when a company maximizes the availability of a product so that customers can buy it during the times that are the most convenient or desirable for the customer. Alright, so the company will analyze how to maximize their products time utility, and they will adjust their production process, okay, the logistic planning, okay, and the delivery of the product. Okay, so it is the time utility is created, okay, so that the company will provide easy availability of a product, of the services, at the time when the customer will want them. All right, okay, so usually for this time utility, okay, it is considering the hours and days of the week. A company might choose to make its services available. For example, okay, let me give an example of a store. Okay, a store might open on the weekend. Okay, if the customers typically shop for that product at that time. Especially during festive season. Okay, we need a longer hour for the store to operate their business. All right, so we need it like 24/7. Okay, during Ramadan we need the store to open up to 11-12 midnight, for example. Yes, so that after Tarawih we can go to that particular store and purchase our needs, our wants, because we want to prepare for Hari Raya, for example. Except for this PKP, alright, we have certain hours, alright, allocated by the government for the businesses to open. In case of the car manufacturing company that I've given to you earlier, the example of form utility, all right, same thing goes to that car manufacturing company. Okay, usually the customers, if they want it, they want it very very soon, as soon as possible, so that, okay, to reduce the dissatisfaction of the customer, Okay, so the car manufacturing company, they need to, let's say, reduce the delivery times. Usually for a car, they need to wait for about several weeks or even months for a new car. But then to increase the satisfaction of the customer, so the car manufacturing company, they need to reduce the delivery times, by even just a few days, for example. And then the car brand will become more attractive to potential customer. So this logistics plays an important role in improving the time utility. We need to deliver the products, the services on time. All right. By offering service and support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The third kind of utility is place utility. What is place utility? It is related to where question. It is providing the products where customers will want them. Basically, it is referring to making the goods or services that we sold physically available or accessible to our potential customers. So the stores make it easier for customers to purchase items, as opposed to driving to a factory or warehouse, let's say, or driving to the retail store. Consumer find what they need in a place conveniently located to their home, to their workplace, for example. All right. And let me relate this to us. All right. Usually, if we want to find a store, what we'll do, we usually will ask our friends, our neighbor, our family. But then currently, using the internet, we can find the place. So that if it is discoverable, through the internet search engine, it will optimize the effects of that place utility. So we'll just Google, all right, this is the place for us to buy the product. This is the location of the shop, for example. So it will increase the place utility. All right. Let me give you an example of um a retail store. All right, so how to get that retail store? We'll just Google. We'll look at the company's website or services. We find it on the internet, and then after that we know the location of the store itself, and we'll go to that store using, let's say, a Waze application. All right, so this increase the convenience for the customers. That can be a key element to attract the customer to buy your product. Let me relate back to our example on form utility and time utility just now. All right, so it's on the car manufacturing company. So if we can find the place of selling the car, which is the distributor of the car easily, and it is actually let's say very close to our home, very close to our workplace, we'll go to that particular store, to that particular distributor, just to find the car. Providing you have the stable financial status to buy certain products, certain car, for example. So the dealer will go to the dealer. All right, rather than you go to the manufacturing company. Usually we'll go and find the car dealers, all right, to get our car. That is the easiest thing to do, to find the cars. All right, so it's just like the grocery shopping. We'll go and find the nearest store, for our grocery shopping, especially for our daily use, our everyday wants and needs. Let's say we want to buy vegetables, we want to buy chicken. We'll not go so far to get those vegetables, to get the bananas, to get the bread. For example, we go and buy the grocery. We'll do the grocery shopping just nearby our home or our workplace. So that will increase the place utility of a product or services that the customers want to buy, that the customer needs. Here we have comes to the last kind of utility, which is possession utility, or some authors, they call it as ownership utility. So what does it mean by possession utility? It is actually related to what, to how. All right. Okay, so what is it? Possession utility is actually the amount of usefulness or perceived value or the benefits, okay, from owning a product, from using a specific product. Okay, once you get the product, what is your perception about the product? Is it useful? Does it benefits you? Okay, so generally speaking, the more useful a product is to an individual, the higher its possession utility will be. All right. But then in some cases, especially according to the marketing theory, the term possession utility is also used in the context of facilitating possession that has been described in this textbook. All right. So it is related to the utility by which the company transfer the product ownership to the customer uh, um, through it selling prices, okay, setting terms for customer credit payment, providing ownership document. So how the product is relatively easy to acquire. All right, that is called facilitating possession. Okay, through easy payment methods such as credit cards or leasing contracts. So we can buy the products through credit card, through debit card. So nowadays, me myself, I seldomly bring cash. All right, when I go anywhere, just maybe a standby of 50 ringgit in my purse. The rest of it, if I want to buy products, okay, I just use the debit card. So nowadays citizens, people are going towards cashless. All right, so we need that easy payment method. So this easy payment method will increase the possession utility. All right. Other than that, let's say for a house, if we want to buy a house, we can have cash. Okay, we can pay cash for the house. It is very expensive. So if the developer, they provide the house through a loan, then it will increase the possession utility to the customer, the ownership utility to the customer. All right. Other than that, let's say for an expensive piece of furniture, all right, more available through a low interest financing deal or zero interest deal. So this low interest or zero interest deal will increase the possessing utility as well. All right. Yeah, and then maybe another thing is, if let's say there's a loan, different banks would have different processes for acquiring for obtaining the loan. All right. Maybe A bank, they simplify the steps needed to obtain a loan. So that particular bank and house developer, for example, they will get that business, they will get that business deal from that particular customer because of that simplify steps of obtaining the loan. Okay, so these reasoning behind all the transaction, that make the acquisition process simpler usually leads to higher perceived value of a good or services. All right, so it will increase the um, possession utility of the product itself. All right, so that are the four kinds of utility that you will need to know. The first one, we have form utility. Second, we have time utility. Third, place utility. And the last one is possession utility, or we call it as ownership utility.